to Isak, tossed it towards Morientes, and then Gerrard! Oh! Oh, goodness me! What a strike!
Yo, what's up? How's it? Y'all good? It's been a while, huh? I know there's a few of you out there, you know, that care. But anyway, rest in peace Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. Sometimes, you know, when it comes to football, we just get emotionally detached at times from the fact that these players are human beings. So salute to the families. We pray for comfort and strength during this difficult time for the Silva and Jota. I think his son is Mr. Silva. Yeah, may he rest in peace. Yeah, it's been a while. I just couldn't, you know. Salute to my partner in crime, Shallows. He's in recovery at the moment. I just couldn't keep quiet. This transfer window is lit. It's looking very, 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 not just monumental but historic. I mean, it's no secret I'm a Liverpool fan, but we're just gonna be as balanced as possible, looking at what's popping off very quickly in the transfer window. I'll pop in now and then with these transfer choons. I'll pop in now and then just to choon to y'all, you know. And first, today I'll look at three main ones. Firstly, we will look at Alexander Isak. Alright, listen, we're not going to talk about the money too much, even though it's some eye-watering money. Liverpool will have to break the British transfer record for a second time in one window. As I said, PSR, we don't need to discuss that, because the same talk, why? How come Liverpool can... Liverpool are a very well-planned club. You know, they're not just doing this out of the blue. This has been planned, but that's not the day for that today. Alexander Isak, there's been a lot going on. He made his intentions clear that he wants to leave to Newcastle. He didn't go on Newcastle's Asia tour. Honestly speaking, I feel sorry for Eddie Howe. Sure, imagine. I feel sorry for the guy because he's been having to deal with this, you know. I do feel that the club, Newcastle, have put him in a very difficult position. You know, they could have prepped him more for this. But yeah, Isak was training on his own. He went to Spain, as the report says. I'm just going to focus on the no ITKs, you know, in the nose. No, I'm not going to focus on these fly-by-night journalists. No, I'm going to look at one that needs a medal. Ben Jacobs, salute to him. He needs a medal. He's been spot on this window, so he's entering the elite. And then obviously David Ornstein. I don't really need to mention Paul Joyce, because a lot of the time him and Ornstein echo each other, because they both have very close club connections. So regarding Isak at the moment, today's report from Ornstein mentions that he'll return to training with Newcastle. Just the report on the Athletic. Ornstein says Alexander Isak will return to the UK and set to resume training with Newcastle following a spell working individually at Real Sociedad. I think legally I can't read this entire article, you know, but it's on the Athletic, you know, especially if you're a subscriber. Then he just says that yes, he's been at Sociedad in Spain at his former club. That's wild. Imagine me going to my former graph and, you know, I'm contracted to this graph, my current graph, but I'll tell them, listen, yeah, I'm not really happy with what's going on at this graph. I'm trying to train, but my previous manager and the previous manager lets you wild. But anyway, he's been training there. The whole story is he's recovering from a minor thigh injury. And news came in last night, where Liverpool tabled a formal bid. According to Ornstein, the complete package in terms of the bid is in the region of 110 million pounds, which breaks the which just about breaks the, I think, the British record. Verts was just under that. And but Newcastle, it says that it brings up in July 15th, where Liverpool expressed looking at a deal in the region of 120 million they're willing to pay. My guess, the sticking points, I've said this even to my friends in the Soccer Prachis group, the sticking point to me will be 130 million package. To me, you know, like, I don't know, 120 million and like a 10 million add-on, you know. But we'll see how it goes, because at the moment the report is that Liverpool will not rush to go back in with a second bid unless Newcastle encourage. If I had to guess how this plays out, to me, the current stance of Isak is irredeemable, to me, because I've seen it before. As a Liverpool fan, I've seen it before, where players isolate themselves from the club because they want a move. I've seen this with Coutinho, I've seen this with Raheem Sterling, I've seen it before. And in most cases, it's irredeemable. So, to me, there's two ways. There's two options for Newcastle. We cash in now, because the other news which we'll discuss as well also plays a factor in this. So you cash in now, or you force an unhappy player to stay. You know, and then you have to deal with him for another season or two. Because Isak currently has like 3 years left in his contract. So if I had to guess, Newcastle will, you know, sort out a replacement. That's how I see it. They'll chase a replacement. Sesko, I think, they're currently in like kind of a bidding war with Manchester United for Sesko. We'll get to that now. And to me, this will force Newcastle's hand to sell. That's how I see it. This is not just okay, I wouldn't say not just, but this is not really, I'm just, as a football fan who has seen it before, this is looking like where the direction is heading. So we will await that. We will await the basically what takes place with our next topic, Benjamin Sesko. A new report from Ornstein today is that Newcastle has tabled a new bid in the past 24 hours of 75 million euros. That'll be a upfront 75 million with a further 5 million in potential add-ons. So walk with me for a bit. Wait, first, before we go through that, United are also interested. United haven't tabled an offer yet, but in the transfer window, those who are, you know, aware and have been following transfer windows all these years, in the transfer window, especially when the window is open, clubs can speak to the camps. In most cases, it's the agent, the player, his agent, and in lots of cases, his family. We saw that with Florian Wirtz. And clubs can speak to both camps. And from what I'm understanding, just looking at the reports, is that Sesko has been speaking to both Newcastle and Manchester United. And usually in this case, it's for the project to be sold, right? If I had to guess who wins it, I'm not too sure. Even with Newcastle moving slightly ahead of United with this bid, I'm honestly not sure. It can change. I mean, bringing up my past trauma, yeah, but if you look at the Caicedo situation, Caicedo's camp encouraged Liverpool that they can buy into the project. Liverpool make an official bid ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea reply, and Caicedo chooses Chelsea instead of Liverpool. It happens. Both teams can bid. The selling club in this case will be RB Leipzig. In that case, it is Brighton. Without my example, but in this case, it's RB Leipzig. They can receive a bid from both, and the player in terms of personal terms agreed at which club will then decide which fee will be received. That's usually the case of how it works. At the moment, so we could say with the bid of 75 million euros, 5 million, so that makes it like an 80 million euro package, was officially tabled by Newcastle. So we could say Newcastle are slightly ahead, but at this moment I can't even predict it. Anything can happen. United can just come with a bid, and all of a sudden Sesko likes their project, and boom, terms agreed, fee agreed at the club, and he's a United player. Anything could happen right now, but I think the next 24 hours is vital. In fact, the next week or so is vital for Sesko's career. And then finally, also just a bit of a small caveat, a small caveat. I don't know if that's the word. I might be butchering that word as a braino. I might be butchering, my braino side might be butchering that word. But just as a side note, Ben Jacobs has actually mentioned that in terms of Rasmus Højlund, and he's posted this together, in partnership with Alex Crook from Talksport. So Ben Jacobs states that, which has a bearing on United's chances of signing Sesko. Rasmus Højlund has reiterated privately to Manchester United, made in public, that he wants to stay at the club and fight for his place. Højlund is not keen on a move to Leipzig, despite it being discussed as one of the options linked to Manchester United's Benjamin Sesko talks. So that leaves part of the negotiation, chess pieces, maybe a fee for Sesko being negotiated down with Leipzig by adding Højlund as part of the package. That is off the table, as reported by Benjamin Jacobs. And then finally, Mr. Song Heung-Min, legend. I mean, he hasn't won the Premier League. In terms of Spurs, they only just recently won a European trophy with the Europa. But this is a Premier League legend. And it just reminds me of players like, Matt Letizia, who never won the Premier League, but they are known as Premier League legends because of their impact on their clubs, their longevity. Son is a Premier League legend, and he's finally made a decision to leave. He is close to an agreement with 33 years old, in his prime. Well, just over his prime, we could say. Because when players turn 32 and then into at 33, 34 is that when they start considering retirement. So, a decent age to leave a club. 33 years old, and he's currently in talks with Major League American side Los Angeles FC. But yeah, guys, hope you'll enjoy that. See, I'll check if I'll pop in again. But salute, take it easy. Until then, for more Choons, I'm out.
That's Isak, tossed it towards Morientes, and then Gerrard! Oh!